Hi everybody, I'm Chris Watson, and welcome to this edition of the NYSPHSAA Captains Club, presented by the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association. Today we're at Walter G. O'Connell High School in Copiague in Section 11 to introduce you to Amaya Williams, who's been overcoming adversity since the day she was born.
I was born with my right leg from the knee down with no bones, and both of my feet were backwards. So I got my right leg amputated when I was 13 months old, and then my foot got fixed. Like, they put a brace on my foot, and then after my foot got fixed, my foot started to die when I was 4. So then I got my foot amputated, then I became a double amputee. But when I was born, it wasn't just my legs. I have a heart murmur, I had a cyst in my spine. There was a lot of things going on.
And from that day forward, it was clear if Amaya was going to survive, she was going to have to be able to do two things: fight and prove people wrong.
6 weeks after getting prosthetics, Amaya was walking across the floor like she had been in legs forever. And I said to my husband, this kid is amazing. Like, the doctor said a year, it hasn't been 6 weeks.
And while modern medicine and a great team of medical professionals got Amaya into prosthetic legs and walking, it was her desire to play sports and her parents who encouraged her to try the same activities that able-bodied kids the same age were doing.
My parents were never like, oh, you have prosthetics, like stuff like that. It was more just like, you want to do karate? Okay, like my parents signed me up like the day after I turned 3 so I could be in karate. And then I did swimming and I did basketball and I was in Girl Scouts and I was in just everything, cheerleading, like anything I was like, oh, I really want to do this, my parents put me in. It showed me that I could do anything I wanted to do. It wasn't like a divide between me and my cousins or me and my friends or anyone in my community. It was always, oh, you're gonna do this? Okay, do it. But I had to figure out my own way of doing anything that I put myself into.
And that was the case with basketball. She loved the game. Amaya watched family and friends play and knew that she wanted to as well. But the question was how?
Learning the game was like, it was kind of different for me because a lot of things that I do, I have to modify it a lot of times. So like, it was like easy to like understand it, but I had to put myself into that position and say, all right, so if I'm here and I have to do this, how would I get to where I have to be?
I remember one time we were at basketball practice and we had a dribbling drill. We had to go between the legs, behind the back, and once that whistle blew, we had to pick up a cone. It was kind of like a race between the two partners, and whoever got the cone first obviously won. So she was my partner and we were dribbling, and as soon as that whistle blew, she picked up real quick, and I was actually surprised because she was able to adapt to her prosthetics and she was able to persevere.
It makes my job easier as a coach because when kids don't feel like playing, or oh, I can't do this, or I'm too tired, they think twice about saying that because they see Amaya there. And when Amaya falls down, you know, she gets right up, she doesn't need any help. And she's like, don't help me. If I need help, I'll tell you. And they just see that, and it makes them play their best and work harder and not try to get out of it. High school kids will do that.
From the time she picked up a basketball, Amaya had one goal: be a varsity basketball player, no matter what her physical limitations were.
I remember in 3rd grade I said I wanted to be on varsity. And then like when we had tryouts, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Like, either way, like either if I was on JV this year or if I was on varsity, I didn't really care which team I was on.
She knows she can't outrun you. So she would spend 6, 8, 10 hours a day. We bought a basketball court, and that's what she did all day long, was 3-point shots. I was like, you know, there are other shots other than 3-point shots. And she's like, I know, but this is the good one. And this is what I'm going to be good at. And this is when she was 7 or 8. I'm going to be good at 3-point shots. And that's what she strived for. She said, because I can she says, as long as I can stand here, I don't have to chase people up and down the court, because if I get the ball, I'm going to make that shot.
And with that ability to hit from the outside and her determination, Amaya made the varsity team as a junior this past season, fulfilling a promise she made to herself.
She's a great kid. I mean, there's no time you walk down the hall where she's not smiling. And we all have bad days. You know, we all struggle, we complain, and you know, when I see her, I'm like, what am I complaining about? You know, this kid has worked so hard. She has to go through she's gone through so much. The kids on the team honestly, truly love her. I mean, you know, you could say that about a lot of kids. Oh, yeah, the kids like her. They like this child, that player. They honestly love her. You can tell she's just such a positive factor on that team.
To watch her get to this point has been very impressive, you know. She's gotten so far from when I was first on the team, when I was in 7th grade and she was a manager in 6th, like she said. Her journey has been, you know, outstanding. I saw her when she was in 7th grade. You know, she didn't really get on the court as much, but she was always determined. You know, she always put that one foot forward, and she always wanted to be the best that she can be. And then now that I'm a senior and she's a junior, you know, I've seen how much she's grown, and it's been encouraging.
When I came and I found out that I was on varsity, I wasn't thinking I was gonna come on to the team and get all this time. Like, no. Most of our team was seniors. There was only 4 juniors. So I was like, if I get playing time, I get playing time. If I don't, I don't. Like, I'm here to play basketball. I'm not here to be the LeBron James of my team. Like, that's not me.
She wasn't just on the Eagles varsity team to sit on the bench. She was there to play, and that she did, getting into games and hitting some big shots.
When you see a kid like that play, and she mentioned, I believe, a couple of the games where she was excited. She scored some 3-pointers. To see the faces in that gym, and these aren't just from people that know her. We're talking about opponents, parents, officials, everybody there. No one could be more excited for her. The motivation, they knew what she had to go through to participate. This girl's running up and down a court. Just unbelievable. The support and the way people treated her and how excited they were for her was just such a nice thing to see nowadays.
It's always gonna be hard because, like, you'll see, like, your best players do some crazy play and you're watching and you're like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I can't move like that. I can't turn my right leg that fast. Like, I can't do certain things. So, like, it's always hard because, like, a lot of times you're like, like, I'm like, like, how am I gonna do that?
There was a jump ball and she shot it, she missed it. And then she ripped it right out of the girl's hand. And they were all like, wow. And then she took it and she shot it and she got it in. You know, she's like, I'm gonna fight, and then she'll go down with the girls on the ground. She goes, the worst thing that's happening is my legs fall off, who cares?
Those closest to Amaya have seen how hard she has worked to get to this point. Inspiration might not be a strong enough word.
We've had some really good teams here, and if I had someone like Amaya back in 2001, 2, and 3, which we had great teams and we were at the States, but the year we lost, I don't think we would have lost. Because what happened mentally to the team would never have happened with someone like Amaya on the team.
It's amazing how far we've come, where students can participate, where you would say to someone that has 2 prosthetic legs, and they'd be like, they play basketball? And you see her running up down the court, you see her shooting baskets, and happiest kid alive.
Amaya appreciates what she is doing, not only for herself, but for others who may have similar issues.
When we go to other schools, the schools come to us, I've never seen anyone else with prosthetics. So, like, I know that there is, like, a divide between me and other players, but, like, if there are, like, more players that play basketball and on varsity for their community or whatever, I feel like that's, like, super cool, and they should just keep doing it because you shouldn't stop doing something you really enjoy doing because of your disability or your limits.
As you can see, Amaya never allowed her disability to interrupt the pursuit of her dream, and we hope her story inspires you to never give up. For the NYSPHSAA Captains Club, presented by the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association, I'm Chris Watson. We'll see you next time.